8 games, bags of goals, upsets and controversies aplenty. Two top-flight titans in the studio, Micah Richards and Alan Shearer. It's OK, I said titans. We begin at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which wasn't even built the last time Spurs beat Liverpool in the league back in 2017. Your commentator, Steve Wilson.
We had to cope with a fair few things and had to show a different side of our game today. First half, we didn't handle it as well as we could have, but second half I thought we were really good.
It was crazy how hard we fought, and in the end you get nothing. How I said, the result is gone, but the performance will stay with me forever.
Obviously, I've seen especially the still back of the goal that is disallowed, and I think on TV, live television, there was no lines being showed as well. So. Right. It's all a bit strange.
If we bring in VAR to cut out on-pitch decisions, it has to be right, doesn't it?
If you want to change something, you have to do it without our voices. But if we say something, we get fined. They don't want to make mistakes. Let's make it. So that's how it is. That's really difficult. It makes it really difficult. You cannot just say, stop making these mistakes. Well, I didn't sit there and thought, come on, we don't need lines. We take different lines today. They didn't do it on purpose, I know that, but the mistakes still happen. I think if you want to talk about it, do it properly and not with creating headlines with emotional managers who go then for it. Nothing will change besides my account in the wrong direction. So, and that I don't feel it that today. I rather feel for the guy. We are, because I think that was not a great day, and I feel as well for the ref because he had not a great day. Actually, the opposite. He didn't feel the game for a second. It's just you cannot lead a game like this, I think. But that's it.
Yeah, he's exasperated and understandably so. It's a fabulous and somewhat crazy game. But since then, PGMOL have issued a statement, and here it is. PGMOL acknowledge a significant human error occurred during the first half of Tottenham Hotspur versus Liverpool. The goal by Luis Diaz was disallowed for offside by the on-field team of match officials. This was a clear and obvious factual error and should have resulted in the goal being awarded through VAR intervention. However, the VAR failed to intervene. PGMOL will conduct a full review into the circumstances which led to the error. Alan, let's have a look at it. I mean, it's pretty inexplicable, really.
Well, it is. It's incomprehensible, Gary. It's just, I don't know. I mean, the one bit of VAR that we have accepted and that we've learned we can't argue about was the offside. Now, this is going to put so much doubt into decisions that have gone on beforehand and that are going to go on in the future because of this. I mean, it is a monumental error. He is clearly onside.
We saw it straight away, didn't we?
We actually spotted straight away. Within a second or two, we said, hang on a minute, that's not offside. No. Now, what we're led to believe is that Darren England, who is the VAR in the VAR hub, and Daniel Cook is the assistant VAR, they've done all what they should have done in terms of drawing the lines and saying, instead of saying to the referee, Simon Hooper, you need to allow a goal then because that is not offside.
There are lines, by the way, for clarification.
Yeah, for some reason, he's had a huge lapse in concentration. Instead of saying that, he's actually said check complete. Now, my argument to that would be, what is the point of then having an assistant VAR? Because I've worked it out, there's about 30 to 35 seconds between him making the decision and then allowing kick-off. So before kick-off...
So he's had a moment of panic,
he's had a moment of panic, or he's had a moment of lapse in concentration, whatever. It's a huge error. But, so that's the VAR, Darren England. The assistant VAR, Daniel Cook. Why can't he then say, hang on a minute, before you kick off, we need to stop this, rather than going through this process of saying we've made a huge error. They should have and could have, I think, stopped it before the kick-off.
It's time, isn't it, though? I mean, everyone's talking about VAR's taking too long. Basically, they've panicked in the moment, made a mistake, and it's been a horrible mistake.
Yeah, it certainly has. There were 2 red cards to look at as well. One straight red, the other one with 2 yellow cards. Bit unfortunate.
I think this one with Curtis Jones, it is unfortunate because we've all been, as he played the game, he's touched the top of the ball, which then led to him outstretching his leg, which on this angle, it looks really, really bad. But in the moment, on that particular angle, it doesn't look that. This is what we don't like to see.
Yeah.
If the referee goes to the screen and sees this image, he's already planted the seed in his head that it looks ridiculously bad, and he was always going to be sent off after that.
I think that's really, really unlucky, and I also think this is really unlucky. I mean, he gets a yellow card here for basically chasing him, running him. He doesn't do anything. Look, he doesn't attempt to tackle him. He doesn't attempt to stick his leg out. That just contact there, through no fault of Jota's, makes his run, and he then clips himself. And I think that's a very, very harsh yellow card. But when you're on that yellow card, then you can't make challenges like that. I mean, it's just been a horrendous day for the officials, for the VAR. I mean, we've seen some howlers over our time, but that is the biggest one, and trust is going to be a huge problem for them going forward.
In amongst all that, it was a terrifically entertaining game of football. It wasn't Liverpool's day, obviously, but if anything could go wrong, everything went wrong.
I was devastated for him, to be honest, just because they defended so well in the latter part of the game with 9 men, and to have that go against you in the last minute of the game. I felt for him as a defender, I really did.
Well done to Spurs, though. They kept going, and they've started the season superbly well.
Certainly have. The last time Manchester...
I guess, particularly in the manner it happened, it kind of leaves that real impact and impression on everyone involved. Another challenge for us today, and we had to cope with a fair few things, and had to show a different side of our game today. First half, we didn't handle it as well as we could have, but second half, I thought we were really good.
The offside goal.
Well, I was just going
to... On the pitch, never. What we saw was, that's no offside. And then you get it. When you're in half-time, first thing you hear, the lines they drew the lines wrong.
OK, so I was wondering, from our end, broadcaster end, it's radio silence. We don't know yet. I believe an explanation is coming, but what have you heard?
Oh, no, I didn't hear anything. It was on, somebody opened the smartphone, and I don't know, on Instagram, Twitter, wherever, somebody put it on, and but it's clear. The ball is between Mo's legs. They drew the line wrong, and they didn't judge the moment of... when Mo passed the ball right, because I didn't see it really. I never played football, so that's a bit difficult, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, so much to talk about. We'll come to that particular talking point in a moment, but Spurs, for the second home game running after the 100th minute winner against Sheffield United, win it with 11 men against 9 in the 96th minute. The own goal, but the positive for your former club, they kept going. Patience, mentality?
Yep, good mentality. Had to show a lot of character. And, had to keep going, and the ball comes to Kulusevski here, and you see him. Then I thought he was going to go on the outside, and he decides to come back in there. And then probably at this stage, Liverpool went to a back 5, so it's really difficult to break him down. So you have to go around if you can't go through, and then you get a little bit of fortune here, and again, late minute goal and a great start to the season.
Do you feel for Joel Matip with the last kick of the game?
Oh yes, yeah, of course you do. You have to. He worked really hard. The back 5 or the back 4, and certainly Matip and Virgil van Dijk, who were on for the whole game, performed really, really well. Just lack of concentration, mental fatigue. It's 96 minutes, backs to the wall football, just takes his eye off and it flies in the back of the net. But you know what? Liverpool played well. It was a really enjoyable game. Lots of talking points. Tottenham got the 3 points. This isn't a poor performance from Liverpool, so you can see the bigger picture. Last year when they played Nottingham Forest away, Bournemouth away, and Wolves away, and they were beaten, and it was a really disappointing performance, and you're left scratching your head, really upset. That wasn't today. Liverpool are going to be fine. They've got too much quality.
Would Spurs have won that last season?
I think it would have been different, to be honest. Obviously, I would like to stand there and say, yeah, of course they would. I think it would have been different. I think the character, and even look at the Arsenal game, going to go down, didn't panic.
The feel around the club.
Didn't panic. The atmosphere today again with the fans, and just that good feel factor, all the players, getting top performances. And it's such a great start to the season. Managers come in and he's, in such a short space of time, he's changed so much, which is, it's not easy to do that.
There's a little ray of sunshine, isn't he, over Tottenham at the minute? Yeah. And I'm glad because the manager is very, very likeable gentleman, isn't he? And, you get a little bit of fortune there, and, rightly so.
Right, let's get into these talking points. Jurgen Klopp talking about, first of all, with 10 men, 0-0 in the first half, Luis Diaz offside, and we didn't see a line.
No, and the reporter who was speaking to Jürgen alluded to a statement going to be coming, an explanation, and we all think it's going to be about this, and we all think it's going to be because it was onside, and the linesman give it, which is fair enough. It's tight, he shouldn't be giving it, but he has given it, which is fine. But you can clearly see by the cut of the grass, if they're straight, he is onside. And the decision was made very quickly. There was no VAR talking to. It was a couple of seconds and it was play on. But when you looked at it with a naked eye, it looked onside. So huge problems if the statement is about that, because we're not going to hear the last of it, unfortunately. There's been a lot of people moaning about VAR, and this is just going to add to the list, and it's quite sad, actually.
I was delighted when I didn't see a line. I'm quite surprised. I was surprised as well, to be honest. But the linesman, was in a fantastic position to see it.
OK. Curtis Jones, first of all, in the first half.
Yep.
Right or wrong decision?
I think it's a wrong decision. Yes, he collides with Basuma, and it doesn't look as if it's a great challenge. But when you see it, and if you've played the game, he's sort of stretching, so there's not a lot of force into it. He gets on top of the ball, and of course, with his momentum, his foot is always going to go onto the ball and over the ball. Gets the ball, collides with Basuma, looks a naughty challenge, but definitely not a red card for me. It's a yellow card. There's the still for Simon Hooper, which, of course, you shouldn't have a still like that. He's probably having it in his ear that he thinks it's a red card. If that's the still for the referee's first judgment, I think that's terrible as well, I really do.
Yeah, that was Darren England in VAR. And now, no debate over the second yellow card for Diego Jota. What about the first, Maka?
Well, the first is not a yellow card, it's just an accident. You see, honestly, it's a Udogie, onto Diogo Jota's knee, and then he kicks himself, to be very honest. So it wasn't a yellow card, but this was. To be honest, I've got no problem with this. The first one is, it's not a yellow card, but this is. And the fact that he got a yellow card and 83 seconds later he gets another one, it's really poor. He's let his team down, and it's a lack of judgment on his behalf, and he's an experienced player. He should not be challenging like that on us when he's had a yellow.
I think that's when you need calm heads. When you're on a yellow, you don't want to be doing that. Of course, it's a yellow card. I think just the frustration losing the ball, and it's just one of those moments where obviously you want to get the ball back on that, but that's when you need calm heads, especially from someone that's an experienced player.
OK, so Tottenham, with that feel-good factor, remain unbeaten. They get the 3 points. Next stop.
نابولي يهزم ليتشي برباعية. فاز فريق نابولي على مضيفه ليتشي 4-0 خلال المباراة التي جمعتهما يوم السبت في الجولة السابعة من الدوري الإيطالي لكرة القدم. وأنهى نابولي الشوط الأول متقدما بهدف سجله ليو أوستيغارد في الدقيقة 16. وفي الشوط الثاني سجل فيكتور أوسيمين الهدف الثاني لنابولي في الدقيقة 51. وأضاف جيانولكو قبل أن يختتم ماتيو بوليتانو أهداف نابولي في الدقيقة 5 في الوقت بدل الضائع للمباراة من ركلة جزاء. ورفع نابولي حامل اللقب رصيده إلى 14 نقطة في المركز الثالث، وتوقف رصيد ليتشي عند 11 نقطة في المركز السابع. وأصبح هذا الانتصار هو الثاني على التوالي والرابع هذا الموسم لنابولي، الذي تعادل في مباراتين وخسر في مباراة. في المقابل أصبحت هذه الخسارة هي الثانية لفريق ليتشي في الدوري هذا الموسم، مقابل الفوز في 3 مباريات والتعادل في مباراتين.